Her hands shook as she spoke, her voice cracking under the weight of her emotions. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she begged, her sobs echoing through the room. "I need to be there," she cried out. "I still love him." Those words cut through me like a serrated knife. We stood in the kitchen, my car keys lying on the counter next to her phone, its screen suddenly lighting up with a notification. Her ex-boyfriend had been in a crash, his car mangled in a ditch, now clinging to life in a hospital bed, blood seeping, perhaps fading away. Her breath hitched as she read the message, as if the air itself had betrayed her. Her eyes, frantic with fear, met mine, pleading for me to somehow tether him to life. I stayed silent, my fingers tightening around the keys, their sharp edges pressing into my skin. The drive to the hospital was shrouded in heavy quiet, peeling away pieces of the bond we once shared. She sat beside me, gripping her phone like a lifeline, while I stared at the road ahead, one hand on the wheel, the other clenched tightly on my leg. In the hospital parking lot, she didn't hesitate, didn't glance back. She leapt from the car, rushing into his world, leaving mine behind as if it had never mattered. That night, I packed a single bag with methodical calm, no drama, just a silence that roared louder than any goodbye. On the counter, I left a note. "He's yours now. Don't worry." Then I turned the key in the lock, its sharp click final, like closing a crypt. Things hadn't always been this way. Her soft laughter used to drift through her sleep, gentle bursts of joy that pulled my gaze in the darkness, stirring a smile on my face. Her kisses once carried the weight of sacred vows, as if I were her beginning and her end. Her words rang with truth, and I absorbed them, trusting each one as absolute. But I began to notice her gaze lingering too long on her phone, her lips twitching into a smile at messages I never saw. Even as her warmth grew distant, her voice dropping to a hush when I walked in mid-text, I told myself it was nothing. My suspicions warped my thoughts, and I buried them deep, only for them to surge up in that kitchen, drowning me in reality. Still love him. Not loved, love alive and unending, as if she'd never released him. I didn't yell or curse, though she might have anticipated it. I'm not the man she assumed. My edges are harder, my heart more shielded. So I sought the truth, not for rumors but for clarity. Her phone was an open window. She'd never changed the passcode, trusting me even as she broke everything else. The messages, though sparse, were enough to map out her betrayal. She confessed to him her yearning, her dreams soaked in their shared past. She admitted to slipping into his old sweatshirt when I wasn't home. And he professed his love unshaken, unaware she was married. To him, I was a ghost in her life, a fleeting presence despite the ring on her finger. For years I'd been an onlooker. I didn't challenge her. I played my role, steady, unremarkable. We shared morning coffee, sat through dinners together, but her laughter sounded empty, a faint shadow of something long gone. Meanwhile, I was strategizing, moving with intent. First, I met with a lawyer, quietly handing over a folder of every message, meticulously printed and time-stamped. He nodded, impressed by my precision. Next, I funneled money into accounts she didn't know existed. She'd always teased my financial caution, but now she'd see its value. Finally, I waited, patient as a hunter, poised for the moment. Then came the accident, her confession, and my chance. She returned 2 days later, weary, her face etched with the burden of her choices. She stepped into an apartment that felt like a tomb. No keys on the counter, no coat on the rack, no shoes by the door. Only my note remained. "He's yours now." Her messages poured in, 167, maybe more. "Please, it wasn't what you think." I was confused. "I love you. We can fix this." Each one grew more frantic, but I didn't reply. I didn't need to. Revenge isn't loud or chaotic. It's the absence of noise, the crushing weight of your own lies in an empty space. It's knowing someone saw you, truly saw you, and chose to leave without looking back. 2 weeks later, she stumbled, reaching out to my mother. Mom knew everything. When she asked where I was, my mother's voice was cold. "You can't find him." Click. The divorce papers arrived the next day, pre-signed, ironclad, a masterpiece of legal clarity. She didn't resist, didn't write, didn't speak, just silence, finally. And her ex? He pulled through. But here's the twist. He didn't want her. He had a fiancée, someone who stood by him while my wife lingered in the hallway, clutching her remorse. She threw away everything for a mirage. A man who'd already forged a new life without her. Now she's alone, surrounded by the ruins of her choices, adrift. Her messages have faded, no more pleas, just a single refrain. I messed up. Each time I see it, I smile. She didn't mess up, she chose. And so did I. I didn't just leave. I erased her, deliberately, quietly, entirely, as if she'd never existed. Betrayal doesn't need a shout to find justice. Sometimes, justice is silence, and silence echoes forever.